Hi, my name is Peyton Davis, and I am a board-certified music therapist and also work full-time as the assistant professor of music therapy at William Carey University. It is my great honor to be able to speak to you all as caregivers, working daily, diligently, and tirelessly to help your loved one with dementia, help them understand this increasingly unfamiliar world as the disease process progresses. But I know that you all are working so much to try to find ways to be able to help your loved one navigate on a daily basis and also through the changes that come along with the disease process. I happen to have a personal and professional connection with working with people with dementia and also in caregivers and the family members and healthcare workers. And I would like to share a little bit about that. I have done over thousands of visits one-on-one with groups, with one-on-one with people with dementia and Alzheimer's, with their loved ones, their family members, the wonderful healthcare hired aides and nurses to be able to help support them when the family can't be there. I've worked and done music therapy sessions to be able to help normalize using music to help normalize the environment, the moments, the present moments of people with dementia, and build connections with family members and the people that are close to them and that are working with them to help them on a day-to-day basis. So I would love to share about music therapy. I'd love to share some tools that I can offer you as caregivers, and also realize that I have a lot of empathy and compassion for what you are going through because my own family member, my father, went through dementia, and my mother was a devoted, amazing caregiver and provided so many interesting outside-the-box strategies, anything she could, from the support group she would go to or meetings that she would go to or people that she would meet or suggestions from doctors. And also because I was involved in the music therapy world in their hometown about a decade ago and got them very involved in music and music therapy type of groups, singing groups in town and things like that to do in their retirement years that actually ended up carrying over and being very beneficial for them as well, to be able to have something they would do on a weekly basis, like a singing group or something they would do annually as a singing production that kept them involved in music, even when Dad had very mild dementia type of symptoms. But as it progressed, music therapy was always beneficial for him. And my mother, as a caregiver, she just did a beautiful job taking care of him. And I know how challenging that can be when you're always on trying to constantly be there for your loved one and constantly think of things that you need to get done, and it's just so much that goes with the caregiving role. And my heart goes out to all of you, and I thank you so much for your love and all the support that you're giving your loved one. And I hope that what I offer you today are some great tools that you can incorporate in your daily routine, as well as help you through transitions that would be able to help you navigate when the unknown occurs for you, if changes are happening that you don't understand as a part of their disease process, but also and that you have to learn about as the changes occur and then adapt to. And so ways to use music through all transitions on a daily basis, on a greater scale of the disease progression, and being able to help you as well to use music as a part of your self-care. And I would love to be able to give you some of these great points. If you've never heard of music therapy, or maybe you're extremely familiar with music therapy, it is a research-based, evidence-supported clinical practice. What we do is we use live patient-client preferred music to be able to achieve the therapeutic goal in whatever the setting would be, whether it is in a hospital setting, nursing home, medical setting, palliative care, hospice, retirement homes, to school settings, working in special education, exceptional education, helping with wellness centers, working one-on-one or with private practice, even in the NICU. And so we do cover all settings and neuro rehab as well. As for where they have therapeutic goals that are bringing, through the use of therapeutic interventions, successful outcomes to help people with their quality of life. Now, a music therapist, what we are is that, we have to, how you know that you have come across a music therapist is if they are board certified. We earn the title music therapist based on passing our national board exam. What a person has to go through is 4 years of an accredited university, learning all the specific curriculum that relates to music therapy while you go through a music school experience. So we are very well trained as a part of understanding all elements of music and how we will incorporate that within our therapeutic practice. So then you have, after 4 years or whatever long it takes for the undergrad, and then for a bachelor's degree, then we have to sit as part of the music therapy process, sit for 6 months and barely sit. Actually, we have to complete a 6-month internship process, and that is a full-time experience in a particular setting where music therapy is implemented, and then sit for the national board exam. So it is quite a process to get to the point of being a music therapist. And there are certain parts of the country that are certain areas, depending on population, where they have lots of music therapy and music therapists all over running sessions and groups in various settings. In other parts of the country or around the world, there isn't really music therapy or music therapists accessible. So you may want to look in your local area and see if that is something that's available to you. Otherwise, I am also available for consultation if you have any questions about what music therapy is and how it can support you and you in your role as a caregiver, as well as benefit your loved one with dementia. So basically, music therapy is, for people working with people with dementia, is a very valuable key to be able to open up those long-term memories and associations and bring normalcy, familiarity into a given present moment that may seem very unfamiliar to them. So our music memory is stored at a different part of the brain than the regular memory. And so sometimes just trying to bring up old memories with your loved one with dementia by talking doesn't really help them retrieve those memories. So when you introduce music that they know from when they were in their 20s, 30s, even as far back as childhood, teens, 20s, 30s, really in the younger years where those long-term memories are and where those positive life events were happening, hopefully happening, and were occurring, and creating milestones in their life, whatever it is that the life experience has been for them, music has been a part of that. And so, what we do is we like to use music to help with that retrieval, the retrieval of memories, be able to help bring the feelings of when they were strong and feeling youthful and feeling good, and associating how music felt to them during that time. We like to be able, as music therapists, to use the music that they remember and just recall without even thinking about it. It's in them. Like, as you have ever thought about, like, you heard a song that you haven't heard a song in, say, decades, it's been a song you haven't heard in forever, and then you're singing all the words to it immediately. And you're thinking, how do I know all the words to this? And I can't remember what I did earlier this morning. So it's very interesting how music functions for us, being able to, it's captured and learned at a certain time that has feelings and thoughts and memories associated with it. So imagine for your loved one with dementia that they're trying to make sense of the unknown that seems very unfamiliar to them in their environment. And if you can bring up music that, and this is what I want to give to you. This is going to be the wheels of this kind of like point that I'm making, is that it's always going to be about music that your loved one with dementia prefers from their youth, that they know, that they don't even have to think about it and the words just come to them. If you as the caregiver can assess and find out what kind of genre music and artists, bands, groups, even classical or opera, whatever genre of music that they prefer, who are their favorite artists as a part of that? And then what I want to do is stimulate your thinking to help you get the wheels going to where you can start to think about creating a playlist for your loved one. As for, if you're a musician and you can play music live, wonderful. Know that a music therapist is going to have a total therapeutic approach where we have to assess the preferred music, assess how they respond to it. As for what kind of music they prefer, what kind of approach in playing with live music, even here with the guitar, because we usually use a guitar as part of our main tool. Although we may play piano, we may use other instruments, we may use drums, we may use some technology, replicating a keyboard, who knows? I mean, we as a music therapist, we use any element of rhythm and melody, tempo, the volume, the dynamics, loud or soft, fast or slow, the intensity, the style, maybe even take a song that would be played at one tempo that they know and be able to kind of make it a little bit more relaxing, or however we need to do it to contour the connection to the music that they need, and to be able to take them into a place that takes them from maybe one state of mind or one type of mood to be able to get them to feel differently and more at peace and more connected. So being able to assess and create even a playlist, if you happen to have a technology to be able to download songs that they prefer, or write on a piece of paper, or go through some songs with them, go on YouTube, go through CDs, whatever it is that you guys had, records, whatever type of music that may be in your home or have accessible that they have listened to along the way as a part of their journey in life. Music that they really, really, really enjoy. You want music that is the most familiar that they can sing, especially if they're songs that they can sing every single word to the chorus, maybe some of the words to the verse, but it's something that keeps them engaged. Write that down. Make a list. So that's going to be really important, because how you use that music is going to be imperative in how it is utilized in your day. And I want to give you some suggestions on how to use that preferred music to your advantage as a caregiver to help them even more to their advantage through transitions that may feel scary or unknown, or produce anxiety, or there's resistance in some capacity. And so any way that you can use the music that they prefer is going to elicit that that motivation, that dopamine, serotonin response, something that makes them feel like they know what is happening in the moment, even if they don't know what's happening on either side of the moment. So it helps bring in a sense of also connection and trust that they can feel with you if you happen to know their favorite songs. And so it does allow for a little bit more openness and potentially for them to move through a moment that would normally be filled with resistance. So now that you know that finding your loved one's most preferred music genres from their younger years in life, the youngest to about their 30s, take that and then think about this. 3 different ways that you can utilize that, okay? And we're gonna give you some specifics on how you can actually apply it. So first would be, I guess I could do like this, but using these 3 fingers. First, we have redirection. We want to redirect them. We want to help them at times when the transitions are scary, unknown, challenging. They're not motivated to want to do anything, or their mood is resistant, or they're very lethargic. And How do we, or they're just are not wanting to cooperate. How do you create that moment to allow for a more cooperative, smoother transition? Whether it's through your activities of daily living with them, getting them through just the things they have to do during the day, hygiene, eating, bathing, showering, that kind of thing. That can be, kind of hard to transition. So when you redirect them, you can use music that they prefer. Now, how you use that. Some people love to sing. If you want to sing your heart out. You can sing a song with them. Use the most familiar words and songs that they know, like the chorus, maybe like the really known parts of a song that they have as a part of what they like. And have a moment with them and kind of just start singing it. You might want to be clever about it, how you introduce it. You don't ever want to put them on the spot if they know it or not know it, and they might, don't just start singing. Just don't even worry about talking. Just start singing, and just start singing, or just say, I have a song in my mind. And it depends on the staging, as for how you would want to communicate with them. You know how you communicate with your loved one. It's for where they are in their process of dementia disease process. But whether they are in mild, need a little redirection because their mood is just a little bit off, or maybe they just need to kind of like feel something enjoyable and known and predictable, to maybe later at staging when they're really not able to coordinate and get themselves moving into the direction to, say, take a shower, bathe, or move to the bathroom to do something, or get them going. Sing with them. Sing the most familiar songs to them. Make sure you keep, if you want to redirect them to something through a transition, make sure you have, I'd say, at least 1 to 3 songs that you can sing with them. That's their song. That's what engages them. It gets their mood. You may need to kind of explore that. If you have a music therapist, or if you want me to help you as well, you're also welcome to reach out to me, and I will help you come up with a way to discover the music that they like, or do it remotely via some kind of a video chat. And so, but if you have a local music therapist, they also will be able to come in and help you with discovering those types of songs, or maybe you know it. So I encourage you to discover that. Figure out what they will sing and engage with. What gets their attention right away that they really like. And so, a song that, is a part of their culture, something that is part of their upbringing, specific to their culture, whether it's an American culture or whether it's from they grew up in another country, or they were embedded in some kind of like a particular type of culture, or religious type of community, whatever music that really is positive for them and connecting for them. Use that. So have several songs ready for your redirection moments, your redirection times. Like when they don't want to get in the car, or they have to get out of the car, use the music, use your voice. Now, not everybody likes to sing. I understand that completely. Some people refuse to. And if that's you, I can understand. No problem. If you can, find those songs, those specific songs that they know the words to, on your phone, on a playlist, somehow on iTunes or Spotify. However, make a specific, maybe redirection playlist. And so that you can use those tools, those songs, and play it and be like, hey, I know this song. Do you know this song? And sometimes they don't want to be, redirected if they're aware of it. But sometimes they just need something to hold on to that they know, that is familiar and positive and makes them make sense of what's happening. And so, maybe that's your transition song. You might want to try that. So if you can kind of hum it, or sing it softly, or sing it whatever way you need to, or play it on your phone from that playlist. Make it accessible, have it ready, use it maybe before you transition to kind of create that feeling of allowing, of engagement, and then just be like, yeah, hey, we're gonna go and we're gonna have we're gonna meet up with some people, and here, this is a great song for us to get started. So, find your way to make it authentic and sincere, so that way the transition is smooth, but using their preferred music is really impactful. So and using the music that connects them to maybe some kind of theme. It could be about the weather. It could be about something that's positive, though, and like about maybe love songs, or maybe connecting a song to a family member. To redirect is also helpful when you are trying to redirect them to engage with other people. And you may want to think about what kind of music they connect with, that's social music, that they want to share with someone else, or that someone else would be willing to share with them in that moment, so that they can feel that connection, and that you have something in common that you're sharing with your loved one with dementia. Now, so using the most familiar songs that have words help build that immediate moment connection, that you know something that they know, and they know something that you know, and that can help be able to open up a moment with more trust and openness and familiarity. And it may take several songs, or maybe a couple songs, and you can kind of have fun with it. And enjoy it in the moment while continuing to help move your loved one forward to whatever the task is that they need to do. You may need to just keep singing the same song over and over. You may want to, for redirection, you make up your own words to that familiar song. Now I'm going to use an example. So in the American culture, a lot of older adults, happen to know the song "You Are My Sunshine." So instead of just saying, "Hey, do you know the song You Are My Sunshine?" Those are words. As soon as you start to sing it, it's going to click in. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. Okay, so you probably have heard that song, most likely, if you've grown up in the American culture. If you happen to have a loved one who grew up in a different type of culture that has a wonderful connecting, traditional, familiar to song, then perhaps use that one. Whatever works and whatever makes them feel that, like, oh, I know this and I can sing along with you. So what you can do is you can take the most predictable words in the song, and you can use that as to just drop the lyric out, where you say, you are my sunshine. So maybe you pause and let them try to sing it, and you sing it to get them engaged. My only sunshine, you make me happy. You might want to prompt them, or just leave the word out and see, but go do it with them. Pause and let them have a moment of retrieval. And so sometimes that can help focus them in the moment to feel like, okay, I'm connecting. All the little extraneous fears on the periphery of unknown might be kind of fading out a little bit if you can redirect them for several minutes with another song. Sometimes they want to know what's going on, so they don't want to be redirected. So maybe just be more subtle and just hum it. And just say, hey, you know what? I have a song in my head. Would you sing this with me for a minute? And just try to be sincere, genuine, even clever. But so what you can do is you can take those, you can drop the lyrics, or make up your own lyrics. Okay. So if you want to make up your own lyrics, like use their name in it. Say their name is Barbara or Steve, and say oh, my dear Steve, oh, my dear Steve. If you use someone's name in the song, be like, would you have dinner with me? And then they'll be like, me? What? Sometimes it's funny. You have to know the person that you're working with, obviously, that has dementia. But, and knowing them, know their name, know what their preferences are, engage them lovingly or in a fun, redirected way. And so sometimes using language that is being sung can be translated to meaning to other things. So you'll have to experiment with that and see how that works. Again, having a music therapist to do this assessment and intake and understanding how music can be effective for your loved one is really important at whatever staging they're in. So just to kind of reiterate, we had redirection is what we're going towards. We're going to talk about relaxation response and talk about reminiscence. just so you know where we're going. So here, if you're using it for redirection, I gave you tools to be able to use the most familiar songs that they can sing to. Helps bring them into the present moment, brings them into something that they know, and being able to use lyric dropping. We talk about it. In music therapy, we let them finish the lyrics, and then also just make up the words if you want to prompt them to the next, and they probably would kind of think that was funny, and it might just sort of lighten up the moment. So sometimes it's kind of useful to kind of try some stuff like that. I mean, why not, you know? And if they don't take to it, it may not work for that moment, but it may work for another moment. So at least this gives you an opportunity to try some kind of things if you haven't already been doing this and you're as a caregiver. So the second thing was relaxation, and then we have reminiscence. So we want to get to a relaxation response. A person, say, is agitated, anxious, their mood is off, they're confused, or they're really restless. They feel like they're missing something and they're looking for something. Obviously, finding something, having a playlist or having those particular songs that you've used for your redirection, you can also create a playlist for relaxation and response. So what I highly recommend is that you take songs that if you have a list for a playlist of songs that you can use, or songs that you know off the top of your head if you happen to be a musician working with your loved one, that you can be able, and it has to be songs that they know, that they prefer, that they can engage with. And so what we want to do is, if a person's feeling really agitated and off and all these kind of more exacerbated type symptoms, they're not going to move into relaxation right away. They're not going to move immediately into feeling relaxed. So we need a stepping stone that for them. And the best way to do that is by using songs that meet them in a more like songs that they know, and that have kind of like a little more sort of upbeat kind of rhythm to it. And then be able to kind of get them to a place where they've engaged in maybe 3 or 4 songs that they know. And you can talk to them about it, you can move with them, you can sing words with them. Several songs usually are helpful. And say, hey, you know that. And even if you think, gosh, I don't have 10 or 15 minutes to do this, I need to just get moving. Well, sometimes you need to give them the time so that it helps them relax a little bit more. If you can sort of, again, stepping stone, several songs, you engage with them, you show that you're having a good time. It's worth it. It's worth engaging, and you can have fun with the music too. And then, and hopefully, they're into it, and then maybe dance with them a little bit, get them, kind of moving and stuff. They may not want to participate in that. You'll have to kind of find the flow, but move with them. But you want to create music to be able to, have them on, let them kind of navigate, and have a playlist for about 20 minutes, I'd say, 20, 30 minutes, to where it's engaging, but just maybe after 1 or 2 songs, maybe even 1 song, start to make it a little bit less upbeat, and to where it kind of starts to mellow out, and maybe have like a little, one of their favorite songs kind of embedded, so it kind of keeps them engaged in this kind of process to move towards a place of relaxation, to where eventually after about 15 minutes of the music, 20 minutes, you can start to put maybe some instrumental and some calming or just more mellow style of the genre that they like, and just kind of let them exist and hang out and let the music hold the space for them. So it could be a 40-minute playlist if you want to put that together. And so I highly recommend you exploring that. Again, I am happy to consult with you about that, unless you have a music therapist locally. I can also help you. So that's helping to create a relaxation response. Well, in opposite, what if your loved one is just so lethargic and you've got to get them stimulated, or they're going to be up all night long, and we know how that goes. And if you want to create some times in the day, if you're at home with them, having to caregive them, and they're really lethargic, play some music that they would know, that is familiar, because they can still hear what's going on. And if it's a song that they really, really know, it'll get their attention. And eventually, I keep putting my hand like this because it's like almost when that like focal point comes mentally. And so if you can pick or just like a song that has very clear words that they know, and it's not just background music, or that you can sit and sing with them and just kind of sing towards them, and then but then change so it's more upbeat. Maybe change the style, whether it's like starting out with kind of some rock and roll, maybe some marching music or something, and just kind of some changing the genre and the intensity a little bit of music that they would prefer or be familiar with. Again, I'm happy to consult or answer any questions if you have any ideas about how you're supposed to contour that. But as for, you want to help them be stimulated to be able to move into a task or a meal, or keep them awake and engaged. And so once you use their preferred music in a way that would help them with whatever the relaxation response or a stimulating response, that would be, at that point, the outcome, whatever you're looking for. So if, let's just say that they're very lethargic and you got them up and they, you use some music and, you increase the volume, maybe it's a little bit, or just try to, get them engaged and hold their hand. And maybe something's really important to think about is also how you can incorporate a multi-sensory experience. So a multi-sensory experience would be bringing in the auditory music to stimulate, a visual something, and something that they would smell. So if you're going to be cooking and you have the music, and now you're putting the music on to transition them to wake up, to be engaged in the meal, having some kind of like rosemary is very stimulating, lemons, and being, just have it around them. Let them smell it. Let them have, that kind of stimulation, so they hear the music. It's something that they prefer. It gets them ready. So maybe you want to make a playlist for helping to create that stimulating experience with a multimodal, multi-stimulation type of intervention. So, so it depends on what you're making a playlist for. Is it, hey, I want to get them ready for a meal, or hey, I want to get them ready for, getting for a visitor, or getting out for a doctor's appointment, or helping them relax when sundowning occurs and getting them ready for bed, or keep them stimulated and relaxed enough. This is where you can use those different strategies that are relaxation type of strategies or stimulation type of strategies. Let's see, we've covered redirection, using music to redirect. That kind of can happen, as well as trying to help them move towards relaxation. So anytime that you want to create that transition, use the music intentionally towards the outcome that you're looking for. And then, in their preferred music. And so third thing that I want to express, which would be first redirection, maybe the relaxation or stimulation response that you're looking for. And then reminiscence. Reminiscing is really important as a part of bringing in a feeling of fulfillment, of validation, confidence, and being able to provide a meaningful moment for them when they are, alert at a point where, say, you've redirected them into a certain point of the day. Usually doing reminiscing is really nice during more of alert hours, I would say. It's from my suggestion, from like 11 to 2 or 3. It's a great window of time to bring in some like reminiscing, and you can do it in the evening too, the sundowning, but that can get a little bit confusing for them. But so usually when they're really alert and they've had their lunch and they're or before lunch or something, that they want to have something that they remember, or if you're in early staging and you just need to validate things around their life, you can use music as a music life review, using music from their very early days, and have music represented from each decade of their life. And meaningful music that maybe represent milestones that happened during those decades. And if you have pictures of your family, of your loved one with dementia, with their life, pictures that represent their life, or even pictures of a time in history that you play music around that would be from a particular decade, and help them remember what they were doing, what they saw, the pictures that maybe would be like, could be the Beatles or an Elvis or Ed Sullivan or whatever the early years were for your loved one. You can use the music to connect to the long-term memories. And that is really important because of how the music memory is stored, and then how the regular memory is stored, and how the music builds the connection piece and the association to the feeling and the memory of what your loved one experienced when they were younger. So reminiscing, not just by talking, because the music is actually the connector to help be able to access those memories in a way that builds feelings and just a sense of well-being when you're discussing positive memories and positive things that happen, because it's something that they know. So if they don't know anything that's happening around them, but that's the one thing that they know, then that's something they can hold on to. It gives them confidence. So I think that's a really amazing, powerful time to use music when you want to go back and have a chance to reopen up the opportunity to introduce memories from long-term memories from their youth. And because if you were just to put on the radio nowadays and are playing music that they don't really know or like, and you want to do a reminiscing activity with them, it's very disconnecting. It doesn't connect. So if you can have, just make a playlist. That's going to be a fantastic tool for you to be able to put on music of a particular time period. You can have a book that has the photos of that time of his life, her life, or go online and print off the internet, pictures of positive things that were happening in music and the arts and life during that time. And see how that works. It would be contraindicated if the music didn't work out, if it was really negative and negative life experiences. So you want to be very mindful about the music and the feelings that you're trying to bring into that present moment, because the point is we want to be able to normalize and bring in the familiarity into the your loved one with dementia's immediate reality, that will help them feel like they have something that's theirs. So it's quite beautiful. And then you can say, gosh, and try to have a conclusion of, you had such a great life and you've done so many wonderful things. And if you feel like you want to do it a reality orientation to where we are today, that is fine. You can do that. Maybe playing songs that they would know. I mean, it could be anything that they know. It could be What a Wonderful World. So you want to create some kind of contouring of leaving them with a feeling that makes them feel good and at peace and connected with themselves somehow, to where that connects to the present moment. And so that's really helpful, and it leaves them with a good feeling and helping them feel calm. Potentially, that is what the goal is. So just to recap, you have redirection strategies, which is to use those most familiar songs with words to help engage them to be able to move through transitions. And then you want to be able to move towards relaxation responses. Or you want to move towards some kind of stimulating responses, is where you need to get them up and get them going. So you can use music to be contoured as stepping stones towards that goal. And then you can use music for that reminiscing and bringing them a piece of themselves and something that they know into the present moment, which is really powerful. So last but not least, I want to make a point as an advocate for you all as caregivers, self-care. I know you're hearing this like a broken record all over the place and all over the summit of this conference, and self-care, self-care, self-care is so important. However you need to do that for your mind, your body, your spirit, everything. Just you can use music. Make a playlist for yourself if you have not already. That helps you also, stepping stone from that, you've been on all day, you've been, going, your your nervous system is really stimulated, however you're feeling, how do you stepping stone, just like you would for your loved one, how do you create the stepping stone for that relaxation response that your body can entrain itself to move towards? So it's like a rhythmic entrainment. So you have something that's like kind of soothing music, something that can be yours that you create as each song has like a little bit more like mellow feel to it. You can play with that. Again, as a music therapist, I can help assess that and create that playlist and try different things for you if you just don't have time or don't know where to start and how to do that, how to build a playlist. I will absolutely help you with that process, and even build a playlist for you if you have like an Apple iPhone, if you have iTunes, Apple iTunes, I can, if you subscribe to that, I can create a playlist for you and share that with you, so as a start. But use music as a way for your body and mind and spirit as a starting point to be able to take in and utilize to where it can create a change for yourself as well. If you just need something uplifting, if you need to take a break and go out in your car and just sing at the top of your lungs, drive around the block and have a moment, if someone is with your loved one with dementia, do what you need to do. Also, I want to suggest to you that to look out into your community and see if there are any kind of community singing groups. I encourage that, even if you aren't a big singer, it's not really your thing, I can understand that. But, as if you are interested in some kind of a singing opportunity with a group of people where you don't have any solos, you don't have to worry about that, you just kind of want to blend in. But singing is a very therapeutic type of thing. It helps you get, emotions and, the serotonin and a release. And so I would encourage you, if you can, find some, and even for yourself, also for your loved one. The Alzheimer's Project may be available in your town, or alzheimers.org perhaps has some, or maybe other websites, you can find maybe locally if a music therapist is running like a music therapy dementia music group, and where it would be, you can drop your loved one with dementia off there to where they can sing and be in a familiar, supported environment. You can observe and see how that works. They may just absolutely love it. That'll give you a chance to run some errands, or just take a time for a phone call with a really good friend, or something for your self-care. So carving out time for your self-care, use music and investigate music as a strategy to help your loved one. And I hope that you've enjoyed this segment in talking about music therapy, and I would love to support you in helping you find strategies as needed in any way to meet any kind of need. If you're curious in how to use music in a way that I've not brought up today, I'm definitely open to discussing some strategies for you and your loved ones. I know trying to help build memories and build those connecting pieces when your loved one with dementia is not remembering or connecting with your other family members, especially people who don't come around as much and they're losing connection as for who they were and they're not able to recognize them as well. Using music to connect them from times in their life and memories, or even just having them come in and just sing some songs with your loved one with dementia, that would be something that they can share in common if they're willing to do that. And I will tell you as a disclosure that of course, be aware that music can open up your heart, and it also can kind of help sort of melt down the walls of, if you've been holding a lot of emotions in, it can kind of help you release that. And so don't be afraid of emotions that come as a part of music. If you find yourself with tears, and let the cathartic release happen, but you don't have to live there, and you don't have to stay there. It's just it's a release, and if it's too much, do what you need to do to make sure. If music sometimes can be overwhelming, too much emotion, understandable. So if you find that with the music it'll be too much, then just please enter in at your own emotional pacing. But understand that a little bit of this cathartic release as a part of songs and connecting is good for nurturing the heart and the soul and the mind. So thank you again so much for listening and being a part of just taking in this segment of offering you tools and your caregiver tool belt so that you can, go the long haul. And please remember to take care of yourself. Also put yourself first sometimes, which doesn't feel natural. But it's very important that you do a daily, weekly maintenance of your own time, of being able to help relieve the stress and pressure and emotional tension, so that you can also have the fuel to go the long haul with your loved one too. So, all right, blessings to you all, and I look forward to question and answering for whatever questions you have, and feel free to email and contact me if you need to discuss anything further or have any advice about how to use music in your caregiver role for your loved one. All right, thank you.